Welcome back to the workshop. Now we begin one of the most important stages of this headlight restoration. Before we begin sanding, we start by using a hand saw blade to remove the heavily oxidized outer layer of the headlight lens. In this restoration, the hand saw blade helps shave away the thick, weathered plastic that has turned yellow after years of exposure to sunlight, heat, dust, and rain. By carefully removing this damaged surface first, we reduce the amount of oxidation that the sandpaper needs to cut through later. This can make the sanding process more efficient and allows us to focus on refining the surface instead of removing heavy oxidation. The blade is held at a low angle and moved slowly across the lens with light, even pressure. The goal is not to cut into the headlight, but to gently shave off only the thin, damaged outer layer. Every pass reveals cleaner plastic underneath, showing that the oxidation is being removed. This step requires patience, precision, and complete control because a smooth, even surface at this stage makes it easier to achieve a clear finish during sanding and buffing. Once the oxidized layer has been removed as evenly as possible, the headlight is ready for the sanding process, where the remaining marks will be refined before the final polishing stage restores its crystal clear shine. Now we begin one of the most important stages of this headlight restoration, the blade scraping process. Before any sanding or polishing can produce a crystal clear finish, the damaged outer layer must be removed completely. Over many years, constant exposure to sunlight, ultraviolet rays, rain, road dust, heat, and environmental pollution creates a thick oxidized layer on the plastic lens. This oxidation causes the headlight to become yellow, cloudy, dull, and rough. Besides making the vehicle look old, it also reduces the amount of light passing through the lens, making nighttime driving less safe. Instead of replacing one of the most important stages of the restoration process, blade scraping. This step is performed to remove the damaged, yellow, and oxidized outer layer of the plastic headlight lens. Years of exposure to sunlight and harsh weather create a thin layer of oxidation that blocks light and makes the headlight appear dull and cloudy. Using a sharp blade, we carefully scrape the surface at a low angle while applying gentle and even pressure. The objective is not to cut into the plastic, but to shave off only the thin, damaged layer. Every movement is slow and controlled to avoid creating deep marks or uneven areas. As the blade moves across the headlight, you can see the yellow oxidation being removed little by little. This process exposes the fresh plastic underneath and significantly reduces the amount of damaged material that must be removed during sanding. The corners and curved sections require extra care because the plastic is more difficult to reach. Working patiently ensures the entire lens is restored. With the oxidized outer layer removed, it's time for the sanding process. Sanding is one of the most important steps in restoring a headlight because it smooths the surface and removes the marks left by the blade scraping. We begin with a coarse grit sandpaper to level the surface and eliminate the remaining oxidation. Water is applied continuously during sanding to keep the plastic cool, reduce friction, and wash away sanding residue. Wet sanding also helps prevent deep scratches and produces a more even finish. Using slow, even strokes, we sand the entire headlight while applying consistent pressure. Every section receives equal attention to ensure a smooth and uniform surface. After the first stage, the headlight appears dull and frosted. This is completely normal and shows that the damaged layer has been removed evenly. Next, we switch to finer grit sandpaper. Each finer grit removes the scratches left by the previous one, making the surface smoother with every step. We continue this process through multiple sanding stages until the headlight feels perfectly smooth. Although the lens still looks cloudy at this stage, the surface is now properly prepared for polishing. A well-executed sanding process is the foundation of a professional restoration, ensuring that the final buffing stage delivers a crystal-clear, glossy finish that looks almost like a brand-new headlight. We begin with 400 grit sandpaper. This coarse grit removes any remaining oxidation and levels the surface. We sand evenly in one direction while keeping the headlight wet at all times. It's important not to rush this step because it creates the foundation for the rest of the restoration. Once the surface looks evenly dull, we move to 600 grit sandpaper. This removes the scratches left by the 400 grit paper. We changed the sanding direction slightly so it's easy to see when the previous scratches have disappeared. Patience during this stage produces better final results. Next comes 800 grit sandpaper. The headlight already feels smoother, and the deeper sanding marks continue to disappear. Every grit makes the surface more refined. Now we use 1000 grit sandpaper. At this stage, the lens begins to look more uniform. Although it still appears cloudy, the scratches are becoming much finer. After that, we continue with 1500 grit sandpaper. After carefully removing the heavy oxidation with the hand saw blade, leveling the damaged surface, and sanding through multiple grits until the headlight became smooth and evenly frosted, we've reached the most satisfying stage of the entire restoration, the final polish. This is where the cloudy plastic begins to transform into a crystal clear lens once again. At this point, the headlight may still look dull and hazy, but that's completely normal. The sanding process has removed years of oxidation, yellowing, and scratches, leaving behind very fine sanding marks that are ready to be polished away. These tiny marks are what prevent the lens from being transparent. The next step is to remove them using a quality plastic shine polishing compound. Before polishing, the surface is cleaned thoroughly with a microfiber cloth to remove any remaining sanding residue. Even small particles of dust can create new scratches during polishing, so keeping the surface clean is essential. The polishing pad is also inspected to ensure it is clean and free from contamination. Now, a small amount of plastic shine compound is applied evenly across the headlight lens. There's no need to use too much product because a little compound spreads across the surface as the polishing pad begins to rotate. Using the correct amount ensures better polishing performance and reduces waste. The polishing machine is fitted with a soft foam polishing pad and started at a moderate speed. High speed is not necessary because excessive heat can damage the plastic lens. Slow, controlled movements produce better clarity and a more consistent finish. The polishing begins from one side of the headlight, working slowly toward the opposite side. The machine is kept moving constantly with overlapping passes, so after the main polishing stage is complete, the remaining polish residue is wiped away using a clean microfiber cloth to reveal the true finish of the headlight. The clarity is inspected closely from different angles, ensuring that no sanding marks, haze, or polishing swirls remain on the surface. If any small imperfections are found, another light polishing pass is carried out until the finish becomes perfectly clear. The transformation is now easy to see, with the lens becoming highly transparent and allowing the reflector and internal components to be seen clearly once again. This improved clarity not only enhances the appearance of the vehicle but also helps improve nighttime visibility and driving safety by allowing more light to pass through the lens. To keep the restored headlight looking new for a longer time, a UV protective coating or sealant. Look at the final results. The headlights are now crystal clear and look almost brand new. If you enjoyed this restoration, please support the channel by giving this video a like, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing for more amazing repair and restoration videos. Don't forget to press the notification bell so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.